Hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, yeah, thank you.
Sure.
Yeah. So, well, again, I appreciate your time so much, and I guess you probably saw the questions I had, and
I didn't.
yeah, pretty straightforward. But I guess just to start off, if you could maybe give me a your view on what U.S. Systems Ukraine most needs right now, and and sort of how that's going through the prioritized Ukraine requirements list, the Pearl list. If you could just give me some of your thoughts on that.
Maybe this would be just very general thoughts about it because we are not the ones who administer this flow, so to say.
Right.
It is the Ministry of Defense. It's
Yeah.
just in general, air defense and missiles of
Yeah.
various ranges. These are the issues that are on the table, and these are the products of interest. But for details, I'd suggest you addressing this to the Ministry of Defense.
Right. Right. Um, well, in terms of this is again, as you said, maybe more of a question for the Ministry of Defense, but just in terms of, I believe last year it was something like 96% of drones that were used were domestic, in other words, made in Ukraine. I'm just wondering if you had any thoughts on uh, U.S. drones that you think are of particular use. There have been a number of drones, Scan Eagle, et cetera, that have been used. But what it seems, I mean, again, from 96% is a pretty significant figure of domestic Ukraine drones that were used. Are there any U.S. drone systems you think have proven or have shown that you might need more of them or um,
Well, the ones that I would probably somehow underscore would be the Merops interceptor drones.
yeah, right,
They are actually produced locally, but the thing is, it is the American, team that's behind the technology and behind the
right,
product. So I would mention actually these ones because these are the ones which are actively used now in Ukraine to intercept
the Shahed, right,
Shahed and
right,
Shahed-like drones.
yeah,
They're quite effective. It is one of the technologies that obviously can and will be replicated and spread further to not just Ukrainian defense sector needs, but also to other European countries. As for others, I mean, we cover pretty much all of our needs in drones through our domestic market, which is very dynamic, as you know. It is, very vibrant. New technologies appear on, I'd say, semi-annual basis, so
hmm,
quite frequently. So it is something that we really rely on.
yeah, and Merops. I think President Zelensky had met with, I think, Eric Schmidt, the CEO
It
of
is.
yeah, of
Yeah,
SwiftBeat.
this summer.
Yeah, this summer, right in July, SwiftBeat LLC, and being the former head of Google, obviously, and now he's obviously very interested in defense, and so that's interesting. But I wondered, he has these surveyor drones, I guess, that are used that they have SwiftBeat LLC, I guess, and I'm wondering, I guess they're a part of Merops, but Is there any, in terms of the Merops, is there any co-production going on right now in terms of, or is it, as you said, sort of domestically produced? Is there any U.S. Factories that are, or U.S. Plants and sites that are producing Merops right now, or is that it's all domestic right now in terms of the production of
Well, I
Merops?
mean, it is not like black and white, right? I mean, it's
Yeah.
not that if it is produced in Ukraine, it means that there is nothing made in the US within the device.
Yeah.
Okay. So they are produced in Ukraine, indeed, not just in Ukraine, but we understand that some of the components that the technology they are of American origin.
Hmm.
It doesn't really matter that much
Yeah.
where the last mile,
Right.
I would say that like assembly is
Yeah.
actually made because, sometimes it is more about the components and their value rather
Hmm.
than the last mile assembly
Yeah.
of
Are a
the
lot of
component.
in terms of uh, sort of the U.S. components for Surveyor, other Merops drones. The components, for example, would they be sort of command and control sort of related or other uh, in terms of,
I'm sorry, I'm afraid I won't be able to give you the details.
oh, that's okay. I understand that. But and in terms of Merops, does it include I guess it includes Surveyor because that's what at least that's the marquee or the big program that at least Eric Schmidt's talked about under SwiftBeat. But what kinds of drones are under Merops? Is it a just the Merops drone, or there a family of
It's not just Merops drone. It is at least one more drone which acts more like it is actually multifunctional, I'd say. So
oh,
it can
okay.
act both as a surveyor, like surveillance drone, as well as it can act as a light bomber drone,
Oh,
so
okay.
that it can
Hmm.
actually hold and then throw a, warhead.
Hmm.
So it can be used for those needs as well. So at least one more drone is there, from what I know. I mean, they
Yeah.
are uh, developing new and new, types of devices that
Yeah.
are of potential interest for us.
Right. And is the other one Surveyor, or is another, is there, what's the other drone that you in the mix there, or beside Merops? What's it called? I mean.
Well, I'm not sure I can mention that. I mean,
Okay.
if that information is not, if it is not in public availability now, like if it is not publicly available to this day, it means that it is for some reasons.
Okay. Yeah.
But it's just that that it is not just the intercept drone that we have talked about. Okay,
Okay.
so they have a wider range of devices.
And that might include, for example, electronic warfare, or other things like that, or just as an example. Okay.
I mean, look,
Yeah.
I'm ready to talk in details about what we do,
Yeah.
okay? But like when it comes to our counterparts, I'm very
Yeah.
much limited
No,
to the
no, I get it.
confidentiality clauses.
Yeah, no,
Okay.
I understand. And the drone configurator is very interesting. So if you could maybe just go over sort of the origin of that, uh, sort of who came up with the idea, because it's, as you were hinting at, sort of the military brigades units in the field can actually customize the drones for their own use, whichever apps they want. So which is it looks like the U.S., the Army, the Air Force, or look like they're interested in that approach. It gets things directly into their hands, and I think the goal was like 5 to 10 days, which is pretty incredible. But yeah, if you could just talk about the initiative and how that came about, I,
Right.
you know,
Yeah. Well, the idea stems from the very logic of the system that we've put in place, which is called dot chain defense.
right.
It is a system which actually changed the approach. So before that, the client of uh, all the manufacturers would be either the General Staff of the Armed Forces of Ukraine or the Ministry of Defense or the Defense Procurement Agency, so one of the central bodies, so to say, in this ecosystem. Okay.
Yeah.
Whereas the logic of this system, it actually refocused the attention from these central bodies to actually brigades, which
Hmm.
are there are hundreds and hundreds of those. Okay.
Yeah.
So the brigades within this system are the clients for, manufacturers. And when they are the client, it is them who actually state their needs, who express what is it that they really want.
Mm.
And it became quite, obvious that they would like to buy not just ready-to-use device, but they would also like to customize it. Because indeed, a drone, in many cases, I can't say in all of the cases, but in many cases, it is like a Lego. You know, Lego?
Yeah. Legos, right. Yeah.
Yeah,
I was terrible at
yeah. It's
Legos,
like
but yeah.
it's like a Lego where
Right.
you can actually change things without major problem for the device functionality, so to say.
Hmm.
And you can change things so that you can make the device, for example, being able to carry heavier weights,
Hmm.
or being able to fly longer distances, or being able to go through, for example, radio electronic warfare, like
Yeah.
defense, on some frequencies that are specific to the region where you would like to apply. Okay,
Hmm.
so there are quite a few components which are interchangeable, so that you can actually, you can add something, or you can the other way around. You can take something from the drone, and it will still be functional. It will still be the drone, which will serve some specific needs of what is it that you would like to achieve. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
So when we changed the logic and we changed it, it was July this year when we started the chain defense
Mm.
pilot system, and we got some really good results. So indeed, average, delivery time is less than 10 days. In some cases, it is 5 days. There is a case where a drone was delivered within 1 day from an order, being placed to a system. If you know uh, something about our conventional, so to say, acquisition systems in defense, sector in all of the countries, actually, 1 day for a product to be delivered to somebody who ordered it. I
Hmm.
mean, it is something just unconceivable. Okay, it
Yeah.
is not something that's
Unprecedented kind of. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
like people would not even think about, terms like, delivery times like that.
Yeah.
People would think of months, in some cases, years, okay,
Hmm.
when they ask for something and they are being served with something, with something that they asked for. So so when we started the project, it was quite soon it became obvious that it does serve the request of the military to get as soon as possible.
Hmm.
But the second request that they got was, we would like it to be customized.
Hmm.
And since we have this logic that our client is not a central body, but rather every single brigade is our client, is a client of the manufacturers who are in the system. It is also something that we've started working on. At this point of time, uh, we have developed the technical stack, so to say, which will allow us
Hmm.
to
Hmm.
start this configuration as soon as January or February next year.
Hmm.
So a military, personnel will go online. It is, of course, not public, as you can imagine, but they will go online, they will look into what they want, and then they can select. So, for example, they would like this drone to be with one battery or two batteries. They would like it to be with,
Hmm.
uh, they would like it to operate at frequencies like that or at
Right.
frequencies like this.
Hmm.
So they will be able to select them, and it will be, of course, then reflected in some, formalities between us and the manufacturer, because it will impact the price. And they will then, deliver exactly what the military want. Because one of the problems of the military at the front line is that when they get something, they usually, and normally, I would say, they normally have to somehow you know, work additionally on the device, on the drone, to make it exactly instrumental for their needs.
Yeah. Yeah, in terms of the DOT chain defense overall, do you happen to know how many brigades now have got it, or um,
Yeah, it is almost 200.
almost 200? Okay, okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Do you think it will be all the brigades, or eventually,
Yeah,
or
from the next year on, 70% of FPV drones, which are the largest, category of drones that are being supplied to the front
right?
line. So 70% of FPV drones will be served and supplied through this system, through DoT
Hmm.
chain defense, as we
Yeah.
call it.
And
So, at that point of time, sorry to interrupt. At that point of time, it will cover all of the armed force of Ukraine,
hmm.
as well as not just armed force of Ukraine, but also other, components of the defense forces of Ukraine. So I mean, actually, National Guard, who is
Yeah.
under the Minister of Interior, they have already started actually using the system. But this year, the usage of the system, it is more about uh, upscaling, okay, and making sure that it is a robust, platform that can actually digest the request of the next year. And in the next year, we'll be talking about millions and millions of drones, which hopefully will be supplied through that system.
Hmm.
As of this year, as of today, it is almost 130,000 drones,
Hmm.
which have been delivered in this way to the date
Hmm.
to our brigades.
Yeah. And I believe that this might have been a while back, but I believe the number, I think, that was quoted, this was just for strike drones, right? But it was something like 38,000 something, 683 or something. But that might have been a while ago. When you say 130,000, is that not just strike drones, but all like reconnaissance drones, et cetera? Is that a total beyond just?
Yes, this is a total number, but we understand that the vast majority in this number is, of course, FPV drones, okay, because
Yeah.
they are way cheaper than, reconnaissance drones, than bomber
Yeah.
drones, and they are produced en masse, whereas
Oh,
reconnaissance drones, and bomber drones. So like uh, I'd say the numbers are not in hundreds of thousands. Okay,
Yeah.
they are in thousands, but not
Yeah.
in hundreds of thousands.
That's still a pretty big number there. You wouldn't happen to, excuse me, you wouldn't happen to know how many of them are the strike drones or the one-way attack drones of that 130,000 Mets of,
I mean, we do have these stats, but I don't think that it
yeah.
is
Um,
something that
yeah,
will really be helpful. I mean, just for you to understand, vast majority of the drones is like these are FPV strike drones. Okay,
yeah,
the vast majority of them.
right. So the
Uh,
muzzle was
but
130, right?
yeah, but also like there are like reconnaissance drones
Yeah,
and bomber drones and
right.
others.
Do you happen to know, and again, this is a while back, but I think this was when it was the first order after the first order on, I guess, like you were saying, July, whatever, July 31st. It was something like 38 companies or 38 builders of drones and like
Yeah, yeah.
184 models. Do you know how many models there are now and how many companies or
As of today, we're having almost 80 companies in the system,
yeah.
and the number of drones available is over 250 models
Oh wow.
that are
Okay.
available for selection. So
Yeah.
that's a robust market actually.
Hmm.
Okay, it's a robust market on the
Yeah.
supply side.
Yeah.
It is also a robust market on the demand side. So we have a few hundreds, like a few hundred of brigades, like a few hundred brigades who act as clients, as customers,
Hmm.
who make their orders, who evaluate what is available in the market. So it is a pretty, I would say, it's not a perfect, but it is a near perfect market arrangement,
Yeah.
which our task was to enable, function well.
Hmm. And I think, as you said, it's 200 brigades now under the DOT chain defense. Do you
Yes.
know what is the total number of brigades across? How many brigades do you have altogether across the defense
I
forces?
mean, look, like I will, of course, will not be able to comment on that, but I'd say
Yeah,
that it is not all military units in Ukraine are brigades who fight on the front line. Okay,
yeah, right.
so I would say that most of the brigades who really fight, okay, who are really at the front line, I would say that they are now a part of the system.
Hmm. Right. And the are the all the I think you said what how many companies now is 80 companies altogether.
Yeah,
Are
right.
all and the 250 drone models are they all domestic or are there some that are not
All domestic.
all domestic?
All
Wow,
domestic. Yeah.
interesting. So yeah, that seems to indicate that that Ukraine is in terms of drones is well ahead. But yeah, I know I guess you know that the Secretary of the Army Driscoll was in Ukraine, and I don't know if you had a chance to speak with him during some of these meetings, but I know he was. It seems like he was interested in some of the drone lessons learned that could apply to the U.S. as well. So I don't know if you had a chance to sort of brief him and any feedback you got if there was if there was that maybe again that was a
Oh,
higher
I know that he had meetings here
yeah
and that he met with the Minister of Defense.
right
Uh,
right
from what I know, the Minister of Defense usually mentions DOT chain defense
yeah
as the breakthrough solution
right
for supplies of drones, and I think that uh, the Americans could really make the most out of it in terms of learning how it functions.
yeah so it's from what I gather it's directly applicable right the DOT chain defense and drone configurator can be directly applicable to armed forces. I guess not just in the U.S. but NATO. I don't know, but NATO countries.
Yep,
So
yep,
yeah,
absolutely.
have
Frank,
any countries?
Frank, I'm really sorry.
Oh,
I'll have to run in like 2 minutes.
oh, no problem, no problem. Yeah, I
Yeah,
just wondered if there's anything extra you wanted to say here, but I appreciate all of your insights here. And I hope eventually to be able to get to Ukraine and maybe speak with you directly would be great. But the
absolutely. Let's keep in touch. Yeah,
yeah, definitely. And the last thing, just in terms of, I know, sort of the general staff is sort of developing sort of lessons learned. I'm just my main interest is in seeing which U.S. Systems have proven most effective. Do you happen to know anyone that the person to talk to on the general staff who would have a handle
you.
on those lessons learned
Yeah, you should address the Ministry of Defense. I mean, they will probably then, redirect you to
to the
people you want
person?
to talk.
Okay. Okay. Well, listen, and I hope to get over there, and it was a pleasure, and thank you for taking the time to speak with me. And
Thank you,
it's
Frank, for your interest. Thank
yeah,
you.
thank you so much, and hope to see you in Ukraine at some point. So,
Let's do that. Thank you, Frank.
okay, thank you.
Bye-bye. Thanks. Bye.
Bye.